Dust rose in the air as Nilo stumbled under the weight of a mountain of wet laundry. The sun blazed mercilessly over Kiranpur village, and each step sent a ripple of pain through his tired legs. His master, Raghu, walked beside him with a stick in hand, shouting, "Faster, you lazy beast! The river won't wait for you." The donkey flinched as the stick cracked against his back. He dared not complain. He simply lowered his head and trudged onward, his ribs visible beneath his dull grey coat. By the time they reached the riverbank, the sky was painted with the colours of dusk. Raghu tied Nilo to a tree and went to gossip with the other washermen. Nilo stood still, too weak even to swat away the flies biting his skin. When darkness finally wrapped around the village and Raghu snored inside his hut, Nilo's stomach growled like thunder. He looked toward the open fields and thought, anything is better than this hunger. He tugged at the rope until it snapped, and for the first time in months he walked freely. The moon hung low, bathing the earth in silver light. Near the river he heard rustling, then saw two gleaming eyes. Nilo froze. A low chuckle came from the shadows. "Don't be afraid," a smooth voice said. "I don't eat friends." From behind a bush stepped a sleek jackal with fur the colour of burnished gold. "Name's Bramble," he said, "and you look like you could use a meal." Nilo blinked. "Food? Do you know where I can find some?" Bramble's grin widened. "I might. Follow me quietly and you'll dine like a king." Cautious but desperate, Nilo followed. They crept through the tall grass until they reached a high stone wall. Bramble nosed a loose board aside, revealing a narrow gap. "Through here," he whispered. "This is the Maharaja's garden, best greens in all of Kirur." Inside, rows of cabbages, carrots and melons glistened under the moonlight. Nilo's eyes widened in disbelief. "Is this real?" he whispered. "As real as your hunger," Bramble said, already chewing on a cucumber. Nilo began to eat, slowly at first, then wildly, joyfully. He had never tasted anything so sweet. That night, for the first time in years, he slept with a full belly and a light heart. Every night after that, Nilo met Bramble at the riverbank. Together they slipped into the garden, laughing softly as they feasted. The donkey's coat began to shine, but his body grew strong again, and he carried himself with a new spark of life. Bramble teased him one night. "Look at you. A few cabbages, and suddenly you're a prince." Nilo chuckled. "You're just jealous that I'm more handsome now." Bramble snorted. "Careful, my friend. Handsome creatures often make foolish choices." Weeks passed and their friendship deepened. Bramble would tell stories about clever foxes and foolish men, and Nilo would listen wide-eyed, enjoying the company more than the food. For once in his life he felt seen, not as a beast of burden, but as a friend. Then came the night that changed everything. The moon was round and bright, the air thick with the scent of flowers. Nilo stood tall in the garden, his belly full, his heart overflowing. He lifted his head toward the stars and sighed. "Bramble, I feel alive again. I must sing." Bramble's ears twitched. "Sing, here?" "Yes, I'll sing a song of freedom and joy. The world should hear me." Bramble's tone sharpened. "No, Nilo, not here. The guards will hear. We'll be caught." Nilo laughed, his voice loud in the still night. "Oh, come now! You worry too much! Just one song!" "I'm serious," Bramble said, stepping closer. "Joy is good, but wisdom keeps it safe. You can't—" "Enough," Nilo interrupted. "You think you're the only smart one here? I'm not afraid." Before Bramble could stop him, Nilo threw back his head and brayed with all his might. The sound tore through the quiet garden, loud, long, and terrible. Birds scattered from the trees, dogs began barking in the distance. "Nilo, stop!" Bramble hissed. "They're coming!" But Nilo was lost in his own song, stamping his hooves and braying louder. Suddenly, lights flickered from the guardhouse. Voices shouted. "Who's there?" Bramble darted toward the fence. "Run!" Nilo tried to follow, but his legs froze in fear. Within seconds, two guards stormed into the garden with sticks in hand. "A thief! Catch him!" They surrounded Nilo, striking him again and again. Pain exploded through his body as he cried out. The noise echoed through the night until everything fell silent, except for his ragged breathing. From behind a bush, Bramble watched helplessly. He wanted to help, but he knew one move would doom them both. The guards dragged Nilo to the gate, kicked him once more, and left him bleeding outside. When dawn came, Bramble crept toward his friend. Nilo lay on the ground, eyes dull, sides heaving. The jackal whispered softly, "You should have listened, old friend. Nilo's voice trembled. I only wanted to feel proud, to be heard for once. Bramble sighed. And you were heard. But wisdom whispers for a reason. It saves us from our own echoes. Tears welled in Nilo's eyes. You tried to warn me. I argued instead. Bramble looked toward the rising sun. There's a difference between courage and foolishness, Nilo. You had the heart to sing, but not the patience to choose when. Nilo managed a faint smile. Will you still visit me? Always, Bramble said softly. But next time, we'll sing where the world cannot punish us for being happy. The two sat quietly as the light spread across the fields. Birds began to chirp, and the river glimmered like glass. Despite his pain, Nilo felt a strange calm. Perhaps wisdom, like friendship, was earned the hard way. As the morning wind rustled through the trees, Bramble turned to leave but paused. You know, Nilo, he said, wisdom isn't louder than pride, it's steadier. Remember that. Nilo nodded weakly. I will. The jackal disappeared into the tall grass, his golden fur glinting in the sun. Nilo watched him go, his heart heavy yet full of understanding. That night, as Raghu once again tied him to the tree, Nilo didn't struggle. He looked at the stars and whispered, wisdom over argument. He closed his eyes and smiled faintly, knowing that some lessons, though painful, free the soul more than any song ever could. So remember, when a friend warns you, it is not to silence your joy, but to keep it safe. For advice when born of care is a gift more precious than pride. Tell us in the comments where you are watching this video from, as it interests me to know how far this story travels. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on our wonderful stories. Thanks for watching.